It's 2:14 in the morning, and you're sitting on the floor of a 9,000 square foot house because the furniture went back on Tuesday and the electricity went off yesterday. Dinner is a gas station sandwich, and somewhere in your wallet, folded behind a maxed out credit card, is a piece of paper that used to be worth $10 million. 3 years ago, you were the luckiest man in America. Tonight, you can't afford to keep the lights on in the house that luck bought. Everyone thinks winning the lottery is the end of a story. Nobody tells you it's the beginning of one, and that the odds inside that story are worse than the odds on the ticket. So let's rewind all the way back, before the cameras, before the cousins you didn't know you had, before the restaurant with your name over the door. Back to an ordinary Tuesday, a gas station, and $2 you almost didn't spend. $10 million. It's a Tuesday in October, and you're paying for gas with a card that has $41 behind it. There's a line at the register, a lottery machine humming by the window, and a jackpot sign with more digits than your year. You buy one ticket, $2. The same numbers you always half joke about. Your grandmother's birthday and your old apartment number. Wednesday night, you're on the couch eating cereal for dinner, and the drawing comes on. First number matches. Funny. Second number matches. You put the bowl down. Third number. You laugh out loud, alone, in an empty apartment, because your brain still thinks this is a story you'll tell at work tomorrow. Fourth, fifth, sixth, and then the loudest silence of your life. You check the ticket against the screen 11 times. You check the date, you check the state. You sit completely still for 20 minutes, holding a piece of paper like it might go off. You don't sleep. You put the ticket inside a book, inside a drawer, then take it out and put it under your pillow. Then take it out again, because what if you drool on it? You tell no one. Not yet. That first night, you are the only person on earth who knows. And it's the last night your life is quiet. The sign said $23 million. That's the number you fall asleep repeating. 23 million. It doesn't feel like money. It feels like the end of every problem you've ever had, wearing a number as a costume. Here's the first smart thing you do, and honestly, one of the last for a while. Before you tell a single human being, you find a lawyer. A boring one, the kind with a bad website and 30 years of experience. He looks at the ticket, looks at you, and says, "Congratulations. Now let me ruin it for you." Ruin number one. 23 million is the annuity. 30 payments over 29 years. Nobody takes that. You take the lump sum, the real cash value. And the real cash value of a $23 million jackpot is $13.8 million. You lost $9 million sitting in a chair before you touched a cent. Ruin number two, the IRS was in line ahead of you. Federal tax takes 37% off the top of the lump sum, and your state wants its cut too. When the dust settles, 13.8 becomes $10.1 million. The billboard said 23, the wire says 10. You will meet a lot of people who never learn the difference. You just did, day one. 2 weeks later, it lands. You refresh your banking app in a parking lot, and there it is. A 1, a 0, and more zeros than the screen was designed to hold gracefully. $10,100,041. The 41 was already yours. The first week, you're careful. You pay off the car, you eat at the same places, you keep going to work even for 4 more days. Until your manager criticizes how you stack a pallet, and you realize you're arguing about $9 an hour with $10 million in the bank. You put down the box, smile, and walk out into the rest of your life. $7 million. The house does it. That's the moment the number stops being infinite. 1.9 million paid in cash because a man on the internet said debt is for poor people. 6 bedrooms for one person. A pool you'll swim in 9 times. A kitchen you'll photograph more than cook in. Then the cars, because the driveway looks embarrassed with your old sedan in it. Then furniture for 6 bedrooms. Then the insurance and the landscapers and the pool guy and property taxes that cost more per year than your old rent. Nobody tells you a big house isn't a purchase. It's a subscription. And then the phone. Because a jackpot in your county doesn't stay a secret. And someone at the gas station talked. Cousins you've met twice. A guy from high school who once lent you a pencil and remembers it. Your phone becomes a slot machine where everyone else pulls the lever. The family dinner is the one that gets you. Everyone's warm, everyone's laughing, and then dessert arrives. Then so do the pitches. Your uncle's roofing expansion, your cousin's trucking company. Guaranteed. It's logistics. Everything is logistics now. You say yes to $150,000 between the salad and the coffee. Because saying no to family feels like a betrayal you can't afford. Saying yes is the one you can't. Friends are cheaper, but there are more of them. $20,000 here, $35,000 there. A car loan that everyone silently understands will never come back. You keep a mental list at first. Then the list gets embarrassing, so you stop keeping it. That's not generosity. That's accounting surrender. And here's the honest part. You love it. You love who you are when you're saying yes. For the first time ever, you walk into a room and you matter. Every round is on you. Every problem is solvable. Every dinner ends with your card on the tray. The money is buying you a personality, and the exchange rate is terrible. An entourage forms the way mold forms, quietly in the warm spots. A guy who knows about watches, a guy who knows about clubs, a guy whose whole job, as far as you can tell, is agreeing with you slightly before you finish sentences. None of them were there when you drove the old sedan. All of them have opinions about how you spend. Your mother is the only person who never asks for anything. You offer her a house. She says her house is fine. It just needs the gutters done. You offer her a car. She asks if you're sleeping enough. You start visiting less because sitting in that kitchen is the only place the new life feels like a costume. 14 months in, you check the balance for the first time in a while. $7 million. You do the math you've been avoiding. $3 million in 14 months. You tell yourself it was setup costs. The house, the cars, the family, one-time things. You will tell yourself a version of this sentence at every number that's coming. 4 million. 7 million still sounds infinite, so you go looking for a legacy. Rich people own things, you've decided. And your best friend since 9th grade has the thing. A restaurant. Your name over the door. Food's a machine that prints money if you run it right. Neither of you has ever run one, wrong or right. The build-out was quoted at $400,000. Build-outs are always quoted at $400,000. By the time the permits, the kitchen equipment, the custom bar, and the sign, the beautiful, glowing $11,000 sign are done, you're in for $900 and change. You celebrate the overrun with a party, which is a sentence that should have worried you. You're not an owner, it turns out. You're a mascot. You sit at the best table, you comp your friends, you sign what the manager slides in front of you. The restaurant is full every Friday and somehow loses money every month. Full and unprofitable. You didn't know a business could be both. Most first-time owners find out exactly this way. Meanwhile, the house keeps its hand out. Property tax, insurance, utilities on 9,000 square feet, the landscaping, the pool, the alarm contract, $30,000 a month for standing still. You're paying a mortgage-sized bill on a house you own outright. Owning it outright was the whole point. The trucking company calls. It's not going great, which you'd already guessed because guaranteed things never call you. It needs another $80,000, or the first $150,000 was for nothing. This is the oldest trap in money. Pay more to protect what's already gone, and you walk straight into it because it's wearing your cousin's face. You've stopped looking at prices, which sounds like freedom and is actually blindness. $1,200 a week on food you don't remember eating. Bottles at clubs for people whose last names you don't know. Flights, upgrades, gifts. None of it is a disaster. That's the trick. It's never one leak that sinks the boat. It's the boat being made of leaks. Your mother visits the big house exactly once. She walks the halls politely, like it's a museum. At the door, she holds your face in her hands and says, "You look tired, sweetheart. Tired like your father used to look." She never says a word about the money. It's the loudest thing anyone has said to you in 2 years. You run the numbers one honest night, alone, with the TV off. The house eats $360 a year. The restaurant eats $300. The lifestyle eats $500-600. Call it $1.3 million a year going out and nothing, literally nothing coming in. You've never earned interest on any of it. It's been sitting in checking. For 3 years, the smartest dollar you own has been sleeping standing up. $4 million left. And here's where your brain does the thing every falling person's brain does. It reframes. $4 million is still rich. $4 million is still more than anyone you grew up with will ever see. You're fine. You're fine. People who are fine don't say it twice. $2 million. The restaurant stops pretending. $40,000 a month, gone. Every month, like a tide. Your friend stops answering by the second ring. The manager, the slick one with the papers, turns out to have been signing himself bonuses inside the numbers you never read. You can't even sue him properly. You approved everything. Your signature is all over your own robbery. Then the actual lawsuit arrives. The contractor from the build-out claiming unpaid change orders. Whether it's fair stops mattering around the third invoice from your own attorney. You learn the rich guy secret nobody puts on the billboard. At this altitude, legal problems aren't rare. They're weather. The cars go first because cars are honest. They sell fast and they punish you fast. You paid $310 for the pair. You get $160 back. Depreciation doesn't care that you cried a little in the dealership parking lot. Actually, nothing about any of this cares. That's the education. Here's what you can't do. Shrink in public. Everyone knows you as the guy who won. Downgrading in front of them feels like dying. So you keep picking up checks with money you need at tables full of people who'd vanish if they saw the banking app. Image is the most expensive thing you own now, and you own a 9,000 square foot house. The entourage thins on a precise schedule, exactly as fast as the yes slows down. The watch guy stops calling. The club guy has a new best friend, another winner 1 county over. It turns out they were never following you. They were following the weather. You just happened to be standing where it was raining money. The cousin's trucking company files for bankruptcy on a Tuesday. $230,000. Gone. And worse, Thanksgiving is gone with it. He can't look at you, so he decides the whole thing is somehow your fault. And half the family quietly agrees. Because it's easier to be angry at the man who has money than the one who lost it. The friend loans enter their final form. You bring one up, gently, once, and watch a 20-year friendship reprice itself in real time. Man, I thought that was love. You stop asking. Cheaper to lose the money than to hear that sentence again. Everyone who owes you money has decided you're rich enough to forget it. You're the only one who knows you're not rich at all. You close the restaurant on a Sunday. No party this time. You stand under the beautiful $11,000 sign while two men unbolted, and the liquidator's check for the entire kitchen, every oven, every table, every glass, is smaller than what the sign alone cost. Your name comes off the wall in pieces. $2 million. 3 years ago, that number would have dropped you to your knees. Now, it reads like a warning light because you finally understand burn rate. And yours says this: at your current speed, Rich has about 20 months left on it. For the first time since the gas station, you feel it in your body. Not excitement, the other thing. 500,000. The house goes on the market, and the market shrugs. 9,000 square feet in your zip code is not a house. It's a white elephant with a pool. Months of showings. Price cut. Another. The listing agent stops saying stunning and starts saying motivated. You paid 1.9, you'll take 1.4 and feel grateful. The subscription, meanwhile, keeps billing. This is the loneliest stretch. The phone that wouldn't stop ringing is a brick now. No pitches, no parties, no watch guy. It turns out you didn't have 200 friends. You had 2, and a 200-person audience, and the audience left when the show stopped being free. The quiet you wanted 3 years ago finally arrives, and it's the wrong kind. And the shame gets a job. It works nights. You rehearse explanations in the shower. You avoid the grocery store where the cashier once asked for a selfie. Being broke was never embarrassing back when everyone around you was broke too. Being broke after 10 million? That's a headline. You're not a person anymore. You're a cautionary tale learning to walk. Then a voice from the old entourage calls, the agreeing guy, with a coin. Not a company, a coin. It's going to $1. Everyone smart is in. This is literally how the rich stay rich. And here's the part you'll never say out loud. You knew. You knew what it was. But desperate math is its own religion. And you needed a miracle more than you needed to be right. 300,000 goes in. It triples on paper in 6 weeks. And for 6 weeks, you're a genius. You check the chart the way you used to check the winning numbers. Then it goes to 0 in 4 days because it was always going to 0. And the agreeing guy's phone number is disconnected because it was always going to be disconnected. Here's the bottom under the bottom. You go back to the gas station. Same one, same machine. And you start buying tickets. Real money's worth, hundreds a week. Because somewhere in your head is a sentence you'd never say sober. Lightning owes me. It struck once. The machine knows your face. The odds don't. Your mother finds the tickets. A shoebox of them in the car she asked you to help clean, which you'll realize later was never about the car. She doesn't yell. She sits in the passenger seat, holds the shoebox on her lap like it's a sick animal, and says, "You won once. Wasn't it enough trouble the first time?" The house finally sells. After the cuts, the fees, the back taxes, and the home equity line you quietly opened 8 months ago and told no one about, the closing check barely clears the debts the house itself created. You hand 3 pounds of keys to a man who got a deal and walk down the driveway you once photographed from 6 angles. 500,000 left. And before you can even breathe on it, the lawsuit settles, the lawyers take their slice, the credit cards you'd been feeding minimums catch up all at once. Watch how fast $500,000 disappears when it's not wealth anymore, just a pile of unpaid history. Months. It takes months. $0. Which brings us back to 2:14 in the morning. The empty house was the last night before the closing. A house already sold, running on electricity already cut, holding a man already gone. You slept on the floor of the master bedroom one last time, on purpose. Some lessons you want to feel in your spine. 0 isn't dramatic. That's the thing nobody tells you. No thunderclap, just a checking account that says $412, which after 3 years, $10 million, one mansion, one restaurant, 2 lawsuits, and around 200 new best friends, is $371 more than you had at the gas station. Rounding error. The whole thing, a rounding error with a story attached. You move into a 1-bedroom above a laundromat. The whole apartment fits inside your old kitchen with room to spare. The radiator bangs, the machines downstairs hum until 11. And the first night, you sleep 9 hours for the first time in 3 years. Your body knew before you did. There's nothing left to defend. The job hunt is its own small purgatory. There's a 3-year hole in your resume, and every interviewer in the county knows exactly what filled it. Some pity you. One asks for the story like it's a party trick. You take a dispatcher job at a shipping warehouse. The same kind of building you once walked out of in a vest, smiling into the rest of your life. The rest of your life, it turns out, was a circle. The ticket is still in your wallet. The actual ticket. Validated, worthless. $10 million of dead paper. You've thought about burning it. You've thought about framing it. For now, it just rides behind the maxed out card. The two of them keeping each other honest. You eat at your mother's every Sunday now. She never brings it up. Not once, not sideways, not as a lesson. One night doing dishes, you finally say it. You were the only one who never asked me for $1. And she keeps drying the same plate and says, I didn't want $1. I wanted you to make it out. Some of the family comes back around, slowly, the way weather clears. The cousin never does. The 2 real friends were still there. Turns out they'd been there the whole time, just standing back from the crowd, waiting for the show to end so they could talk to you again. And the strangest part of 0? The math finally works. Rent, bus pass, groceries, phone, $1,100 a month, covered by a paycheck, with a little left. You know where every dollar goes because for the first time in 3 years, every dollar has somewhere to be. 10 million made you feel powerful. Solvent? Solvent makes you feel safe. You had the two confused the entire time. The second win. 2 years pass. You're good at the dispatcher job. Genuinely good. The kind of good you never got to be at being rich. Trucks, docks, schedules, a system that rewards attention instead of punishing it. They make you a shift lead. It comes with a raise of $1.80 an hour, and you're prouder of it than you ever were of the wire transfer. There's a savings account now, $8,400. You built it the boring way. 80 here, 120 there, months of it. It's the first money you've ever had that no one is coming for. No cousins, no coins, no subscriptions with columns. 8,000 that's actually entirely, quietly yours. It feels bigger than the 10 million ever did. You keep waiting for that feeling to wear off. It doesn't. You fix your mother's gutters yourself on a Saturday with $60 of parts and a borrowed ladder. She holds the ladder and criticizes your technique the entire time. And it is, and this is not close, the best purchase of the last 5 years. The ticket gets a frame, after all. $9 at a thrift store. It hangs in the kitchen of the one-bedroom, above the budget notebook, where you'll see it every single morning. Not as a trophy, as a vaccine. So what actually happened? Because he wasted it is the lazy answer. Here's the real one. Nothing in your life ever taught you to hold money, only to want it. $10 million didn't change you. It revealed you at full volume with the brakes cut. And what it revealed was a man who needed to be needed, wired straight to a bank account. And you're not rare. Lottery winners go broke at rates that should be printed on the ticket. A huge share burned through everything within a handful of years. Not because winners are stupid, because a windfall hands you a CEO's problems with a cashier's training in front of an audience with no manual in the box. If the numbers ever hit for you, and someone watching this statistically, they someday will, the manual is 4 sentences. Tell no one before a lawyer. Take nothing out for 6 months. Let the shock pass before the money moves. Live exactly your current life for 1 full year. And decide what the money is for before it starts deciding what you're for. Because here's what the winners who survive all figure out, usually the expensive way. Money is an amplifier, not a compass. It makes you more of whatever you already are. Louder, faster, in front of more people. It has never once, in the history of jackpots, told anyone where to go. Some Sundays at the gas station, same one because it's on the way to your mother's, you watch someone buy a fistful of tickets and joke with the cashier about what they'd do if it hit. And you stand there holding your coffee with $10 million of experience in your wallet. And you don't say a word. It's not your lightning. Everyone has to meet their own. Your winning numbers still play every week in your head. Grandmother's birthday, old apartment. You never buy them, but once in a while, you check, just to see. They haven't come up again. And on the drive to Sunday dinner, you catch yourself hoping, sincerely, that they never do. Because you already won. It just took losing $10 million to find the prize. A paid-up Tuesday, a job you're good at, dishes with your mother, and a bank account nobody's coming for. The ticket on the kitchen wall isn't there to remind you what you lost. It's there to remind you what you couldn't buy with it.